And bueno, gente, welcome to Open 2025. Today we begin with the Harlem School of the Arts, an institution that has become nationally recognized for its exceptional arts curriculum and multidisciplinary programs, which brings us to our first guest, who has appeared in shows such as Chicago PD, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, my favorite show, I might add, and HBO Max Somebody Somewhere. Pero now she leads the theater department at HSA, encouraging students to tap into their full artistic potential. Everyone, please welcome Harlem School of the Arts Theater Department Director, actress, and educator, Mercedes White. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Thank you. So happy to be here.
Bueno, happy, healthy New Year.
Yes.
We're going to be saying that throughout the entire month of January.
Okay, I'm with it.
Yeah. And, what a lovely thing to step in knowing that your work is really going to be passed forward, like in a literal sense, right? Based on the commitment that you have chosen to take on these past couple of years. But before we get into your role as the theater director at Harlem School of the Arts, I want to talk a little bit about your career, especially with what just recently occurred in California. In just that lifestyle. It's a challenging lifestyle to lead in having a job, then not having a job. And so just share what that journey has been for you in having these roles, let's say in these different series, Chicago PD, Law and Order Special Victims Unit. That's my favorite show.
That's my jam too, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
And then of course the hit show on Max, on HBO Max, Somebody Somewhere.
Yeah. It's stressful.
Right.
I think, coming out of college in 2012, just with like big dreams and hopes of just like doing theater. So I'm classically trained. Shakespeare's my jam. And I really mainly wanted to do theater.
Right.
But as it unfolded, sort of TV and film just sort of really was the thing that kind of kept presenting opportunities for me. And I think as an artist coming out, as a young actor coming out, you think if I land just a role on something, then I made it. But in actuality, it's like there's so many moments of landing those roles and landing those things that like lead up to the big thing. And along the journey, you may decide like, you know what, actually this really isn't for me, or you know what, this is really where I want to go. And you can have a really successful career sort of booking things and going from job to job and job to job. You don't necessarily have to be like Zendaya or someone like that. You can have a really successful career sort of middle of the road. Yeah, being a working actor.
Being a working actor, which is what you are.
Yes.
Right? Because technically you still are.
Yeah.
But somewhere in there, something shifted for you in becoming this theater director. So I was just curious to know, like, what happened?
The bills. No, I'm just playing.
No, you're not.
No.
But there's something that comes with consistency.
Yeah.
I know. I'm in the field, so I know. I did the whole Hollywood thing. I did the California thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna date myself. I was in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I dated myself. When they were doing the schools, when he was in school. But yeah. And and I have contacts over there. But that feeling of like working and then going through what I would call post-production blues.
Yeah.
And like, oh, it's over. Now, when is the next job going to come in? And being at the mercy of somebody casting you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But yet you want to craft. Mm-hmm. And so now you found a way to craft. Yeah. In a way that's consistent and purposeful. I mean, not that acting isn't purposeful, because it's still crafting within itself. And it is like a means of leaving something, behind. Mm-hmm. But when you're working directly with the next generation, it I don't know, there's something more fulfilling. And I mean, at least for me anyway.
Yeah. No, for me, I think I've always wanted to educate. When I first began my acting career, I always did like workshops and mentorships with the younger generation, because I really love coaching. I really love getting in there. I really love directing. So I knew that my career would consist of a combination of the things. I don't think I could ever be satisfied just doing one thing. You know, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm an educator, and all of those things make me who I am. And that's sort of the dream. I think as you know, you kind of grow up, your dream sort of takes different shapes and forms. For me, I'm gonna always be an actor, even if I'm not in a show. I'm always working on my craft. I'm always working on writing. And I think what you said about like, there's something so amazing about working with the younger generation. Seeing the stuff that they're able to do blows my mind every day. My wife and I do something every night where we talk about like what was beautiful about the day. And more times than not, I'm always saying something about the kids. Oh, my kids did this. That was the most beautiful thing about today is the things that they're doing.
Wow, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Because now they're all your children,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How many of them are there altogether? It's an entire department.
Yeah. In the prep program, I have a solid, and the prep program is a scholarship-based program that the kids audition for to be in it, and they get a set curriculum that aims, the goal is for them to eventually go out into the world and do this for a living. Professionally.
Right.
So I have 20 kids in my department in the prep program, and then in my entire department of kids who just take classes, one-off classes, our general enrollment classes, I have about 56.
That's a lot of children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a good thing nobody pushed them out, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing when you can just
Yes.
adopt them like that.
Yeah.
And also nurture them and water them and watch them grow. And also, you know, reflect within them the craft that you're actually developing yourself. Because sometimes, at least for me, I've learned more being on the outside of it, right? From observing it, from just really... we all learn from each other, you know? And so I know recently you just put up a show called The African Mean Girls.
Yes.
Now, did you choose that particular topic?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so talk to us about that and why this particular show was important for you to mount.
So it was important for me to do this show because my little cohort of children consists predominantly of Black and brown students, specifically Black and brown girls. And this play talks about colorism, and it deals with the issues that teenagers face when they're all together, and the bullying that happens amongst girls, and who's the most popular girl, and who's this, and why is she popular. And so the play takes place in Ghana, in the 80s, and the whole premise of the show is about this beauty competition that is coming up that the girls are really excited about. And then a student from America comes, and she is biracial, fair-skinned, and all of a sudden the tides turn, and she is the chosen one.
Right.
Simply because of the color of her skin.
Right, because she's a lighter.
Yeah, and for her, she's dealing with that situation of being not Black enough, not African enough, not white enough, never finding that in between.
Right.
And so for me, I related to that simply because, so I'm biracial and I'm Mexican and I'm Black, and I've never felt like I was accepted in one group or another as a youth.
¿Hablas español?
Claro que sí.
Oh, yeah, look at you.
But
I love it, I love it.
So I never really...
Thank you for sharing that with us here,
of course.
because I wouldn't know either unless you mentioned it, because you're, you know, sometimes we're identified by our last name, right? So I don't know if that's your married last name or...
Oh, no, it's my last name.
That's your last name.
But my first name is Mercedes, so...
Right.
Yeah.
It's not Mercedes, it's
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for clarifying that,
Of course.
Uh-huh.
So that was really important to me, and I know that my girls all deal with all kinds of stuff. So when I chose, so that's why I chose to play.
Right. It was personal to you.
Yeah, it was
as well.
personal to me. And I'm really not the kind of director that likes to not that there's anything wrong with producing, you know, glitz and glam and all the cutesy.
Pop,
yeah,
pop.
yeah.
We'll call it pop.
Yeah, but I want to talk about the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I have a responsibility, and all artists have a responsibility to tell the story, to talk about what's going on in the world, to dive into the pain, to the hurt, to the love, the beauty of all of it. And so I really wanted to do that this year. And
last year.
Oh, last year. My fault. Yeah.
I know. I wish we would have had you on before you actually mounted it, but I did want to have a discussion about it because I think it's so important, especially because we're community oriented and our community consists primarily of Black and brown individuals, right?
Yeah.
And so these are the voices that we're pushing forward or bringing forward in making sure that our audience is aware that this is out there.
Yeah.
This is accessible to them.
Yeah.
And to their children, for that matter, right? Because we're talking about Harlem School of the Arts.
Yeah.
And you have programs that are now in development for the new year. So I wanted to share what you have accomplished and the meaning behind it and the way it's being approached and the intentions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So when we did Schoolgirls or the African Mean Girls play, I remember having a table read with the cast. And it was just the first time that I've been in a room doing a play with just, you know, girls from 11 to 17, and they were all sharing their experiences of colorism. And they were all talking about feeling less than, or not feeling good enough because they were too thin or too big or whatever it may be. And it was heartbreaking to hear an 11-year-old girl talk about that. It was heartbreaking to hear the 17-year-old girl talk about that. But then there was this beautiful moment where the actress who played the lead, Paulina, her name is Tatum, she's 17 years old, and she was talking about how in her life she's had to deal with all of these things and how she overcomes it. And she was giving advice to these girls. And I knew then that that was the reason why I wanted to do this play. And seeing the audience's reaction to those kids being up there, killing it and talking about such heartbreaking material was one of the best experiences of my life.
Nice, nice. And it's so important for us to make sure that we see each other.
Yeah.
That we see each other.
Yeah.
Not that we're just seeing, that we see each other.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm sure it was therapeutic, is what it sounds like to me.
It was. You know, because first of all, the black woman is the most hated person in America. And so being able to give them a safe space where they are appreciated and highlighted and valued and celebrated was the goal. And I achieved that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so coming into this new year, what's in store?
This year we're doing, our first event coming up is the Celebration of Blackness, A Curtain Call to Glory, which is an event that celebrates all of the amazing achievements of Black artists, musicians, everyone who has made a difference or an impact in their chosen field. So it's a combination of disciplines, doing some really great stuff, scenes from fences, dancers doing some great stuff, media and design artists. The kids are painting these artists. So it's going to be a really fantastic event.
And that's taking place in February?
Yep, February 15th.
February 15th.
Yeah.
And then you have another musical performance of Once on This Island coming up at the end of the semester?
At the end of the semester. So we're in our spring semester now. Right. So Once on This Island, fantastic musical being directed by the fabulous Latricia Harper. It will air in June.
It won't air.
It won't air, you're right.
We're talking that TV stuff.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be presented.
Yeah, it will
in
open.
Harlem School of the Arts. Is fabulous theater, I might add.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah, I know it is. It's really quite the experience. The quality of work is really up there.
Thank you.
The caliber, everything. So thank you for taking the time to come and share it with us here. If anybody were interested in having their children sign up, how would they go about doing so?
Yes, please go to our website, which is hsanyc.org. You can click on any of the classes to join. Obviously, theater for me, but we have amazing classes. Our dance department is fantastic. Musical theater, music, media and design. Anything that your kid is interested in, they can go there and they can find that out.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
And there's everything for everyone. And it's definitely a community.
Yeah, for sure.
I belong to it. So.
Hey.
And I can't believe we haven't met before, but I'm happy to have you here sharing with our viewers. Mercedes White, or should I say Mercedes White?
There we go.
That's right, Harlem School of the Arts Theater Department Director. And once again, for more information on the programs we just discussed, you can visit hsanyc.org.